Good morning, guys. How you doing? Welcome to the Real Estate Machine Show's Monday's edition. It's just before 6 o'clock on Monday morning. I am your host, Chris Matan. Welcome back. Very happy to see you, hear you, and all that good stuff. Wanted to dive right in the weekend. I want to recap the weekend for you. Had some showings on Saturday, generated an offer. My clients loved one of the houses that we saw. I think it's a pretty good deal. We did some negotiating over the weekend. I hope to wrap it up this morning. We still need to settle on some dates, but you know, I look forward to getting that wrapped up this morning, and that may translate into some you know, inspection time this week and some more negotiation and whatnot. So I'm pretty excited about that. They're very excited, more importantly, as well. Yesterday was also a great day. Spent the entire day with Ivana and Mila. We ran some errands and we took some time in the basement, cleaned up the basement a little bit. We've got these Peloton-esque bikes that, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen these exercise bikes or exercise equipment, treadmills even, that it's tied into a video and tied into kind of like almost like a live broadcast where you can kind of work out with a trainer that's on your TV. It's pretty cool. So we got that set up. I hope to make that part of my, you know, me and Ivana, part of our kind of routine. Haven't worked out in quite a while. I've been really slacking when it comes to that. So, you know, maybe I'll take off a couple pounds here or there. The camera won't add 10 pounds anymore. Anyway, so want to talk about, so that was my weekend, great weekend. Want to talk about habits really quick. They say that it takes about 66 days to form a habit, which amounts to, what is it, like 9 weeks or so. So you do something consistently for 9 weeks, and now all of a sudden you got a new habit. So I wanted to kind of change myself up a little bit here on the show. You know, we were going to be talking about goals for the week, and then on Friday, talking about the results of those goals. So last week's goals, the 25 conversations, the 2 meetings, the 10 note cards, personalized, personally written, handwritten note cards, and the mailer were my goals for the week. I'm going to make those my goals every week, so that we don't really have to spend too much time on Mondays talking about them. On Fridays, I will kind of record the results and share the results with you. But my thought is that if those are my kind of 4 main goals for the week, I can establish those week in and week out, and then after 66 days, maybe a habit's going to form, and you know, it's just, I'm going to be kind of on autopilot with that stuff. You know, maybe after 66 weeks, those results will even be increasing, which would be pretty cool too. It'll be interesting to see where we stand 9 weeks from now after creating that habit. So I think that'll be pretty cool. So, okay, so that's out of the way. Let's get into some real content here. I mentioned briefly on Friday, talk about teams and talk about employees and stuff like that. So that's what I want to talk about. I want you know, this may lean a little bit more on the manufacturing side or the running a machine shop side. For me personally, I do not have a real estate team. I'm a solo agent. I do have a transaction coordinator. And obviously I've got my go-tos when it comes to lenders and title companies and stuff like that. So that's part of a team. But when you're dealing with a manufacturing business and a machining business where you have formal employees, and you have to hire and fire and that kind of stuff, you know, I look at it a little bit differently as opposed to, you know, independent contractor situations on the real estate business side. So talking about employees running a shop, the way that, you know, the way that our shop that runs, we've got a team on the shop floor, which is, you know, really the heart and soul of the business. You know, yeah, you know, maybe I'm doing a lot of the day-to-day and, you know, generating business and, you know, doing a lot on the business end, but, you know, it comes down to the guys on the shop floor and what they do and how they, you know, how their work impacts the business as a whole. So it's important to get a good team in place. It's not easy to do. There is a skills gap in manufacturing. Some of you may or may not know. And essentially what that means is that there's an older generation of machinists that are highly skilled and are retiring. And the generation following them was not trained in the same way. They do not have the same skills. and it's a challenge to be as effective and efficient as you know, us small shops were in the past. So training is key, but training is very expensive. You know, you want to be able to train within, but in order to train, you need the talent on the floor to be able to train. So, you know, it's kind of a you know, it's a challenging situation. And, you know, to hire for that talent, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've looked for specific talent. I've looked for very specific things. And, you know, I think the key to hiring and the key to building your team is to have your expectations set up front and the roles clearly identified up front. When you bring somebody in, you gotta identify their role, and they have to be comfortable with it. You can't expect you know, the best machinist in the world can take you anywhere you want to go, but they can also ruin you if your expectations of them are in the wrong place. And that's where I think I found a lot of my struggles. The best machinist in the world may not be able to lead other machinists. And when you hire for that, you got to make sure that that's a role that they're comfortable in, and that's the role that they want. And that's one of their strengths. It's kind of like taking your best salesperson on your sales team and making them a manager of other salespeople. It doesn't always work. That salesperson, that highly skilled salesperson, might be amazing at sales, but you know, when it comes to management and inspiring others, you know, maybe you can inspire a customer easier than you can inspire a teammate. So you got to be careful with that. And, you know, the salesperson also has to understand the new role that they're stepping into, and if it's a role that they're comfortable in. You know, a lot of people just like that sales position, and they're out there and they're hustling and they're doing their thing, and they're only responsible for their own little box and not responsible for anybody else. And, you know, it's important to make sure that that's identified and understood. So, you know, setting expectations with your team, with your teammates, and your people, and making sure that they they understand their role is very, very important. And once you get that team in place and they start gelling and your people really start showing an impact on the business, you share it with them. Make sure that they understand that the good work that they're doing is having a positive impact on your business. Make them a part of that. You know, people like to be, you know, obviously people like to be praised, and they like to be told they've done a good job and be rewarded for that. But they also like to know that they're a part of something, and that what they're doing is impacting the business in a positive way, and give them extra responsibilities. And I'm not talking about extra tasks and duties and stuff like that, but maybe certain responsibilities. You know, okay, you're going to be responsible for this. You're going to be responsible for this. It could be something as little as opening up the shop in the morning, or closing the shop. You know, having the responsibility of having the key is, you know, the key to the building, you know, is a big deal to some people. So, you know, looking at all those things as in a big picture way, I think is important. I've made a ton of mistakes hiring the wrong people for the wrong positions, or the right people for the wrong positions, or the wrong people for the right position. You know, you know, any combination. You know, I've made mistakes, and you know, over the last 8 years or so, you know, slowly but surely I'm learning, and you know, a lot of it starts from within. You have to, you know, understand what you're trying to accomplish, and kind of be certain of what you want and what you need, and don't deviate. But you know, be open-minded as well. You know, when you get somebody in here and you get somebody in your I heard a guy that I know pretty well is a very, very successful business guy. He told me one time that he was hiring and somebody came in for a position that they didn't fit the position, but he was so impressed with the candidate that he found a position for them. Because you want good people, you want, you know, character and integrity is just as important as skill. And if you can find somebody with character, integrity, ambition, you know, all those good qualities that make you know, that make a good employee or a good leader, you find a position for them. You just figure it out, you make it work, and you will be better off for it. I was saying that I'm a solo agent. I do have a transaction coordinator who is amazing. I've never had a transaction coordinator before, and it's probably one of the best things I've ever done, in my real estate business, in my real estate career. I've always done everything, and it's been too much. This way, the administrative stuff is taken off my plate completely, for the most part, and I'm able to be on the street and talk to customers and meet new people, meet new clients, and generate business. And that's what I enjoy doing, and that's what I need to do. So to be able to delegate some of that, some of the administrative paperwork is huge, and I consider her a part of my team, and I think that she's amazing, and I hope that we're going to keep doing a lot of deals together. So anyway, employees are critical to the team, critical to the success of the business. Got to keep them happy and make sure that they're recognized and they're appreciated for everything that they do. Now, a bad employee is a bad employee. Fire as fast as you hire sometimes. Sometimes you just got to pull off that Band-Aid. So I think that in a nutshell makes the point I want to make. Maybe there's a takeaway you have from there. I think that I've learned a lot over the years, and hopefully a couple of points made will benefit you guys. So until Friday, maybe I'm going to pop in a couple times during the week, but have a great week, and we'll see how Friday turns out, how all the results of my work during the week turns out. Can't wait to see you. Have a great week. Bye-bye.